Hello and welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be making various things, but this particular video is about how to make rice, basmati rice. So what do we need? We need a cooking pot, one of those. Then we need some rice. So I've got some basmati rice. I'm not going to tell you which variety it is, but generally this is a good variety of rice. The way I do it, measurement wise, is usually if you're making per person, one fistful like that and a bit, okay, per person. So about 3. That's more than enough for 2 people, 2.5 people. I'll add a bit more. That'll do. It's probably enough. Mind you, I suppose if I get a bit more left over tomorrow, it can be eaten. Right, so that's about enough rice. Doesn't look much, but there are a lot of grains in there, and this will swell up to about here, I think. So, first thing to do, this is basmati rice. Now, various theories go around about this, but the way I make it is I first just rinse the rice out a couple of times, not too many, but just a couple of times in cold water, and then I let it soak in cold water for a minimum of about 25 minutes to half an hour. The reason I wash the rice or rinse the rice is, having travelled around in India and other parts, China and so on, the way these things are stored and dehusked in some places, there's a lot of dust and a lot of other stuff which gets into the rice. Oh, here we go again. Sorry about that. Yes, unfortunately my phone keeps bleeping in the background whilst I'm doing this, so I apologise for that in advance. Anyway, so it's because of the dust and anything else that might be caught in the rice while it's been packaged and while it's been stored before it gets to the shops, and also obviously after we buy it and so on. So I just give it a rinse just to remove all of that. Couple of times, and then leave it to soak for about half an hour or so, 25 minutes, 30 minutes or so, as a minimum. And I find that it cooks better, it cooks faster, and you get longer grains. So at the moment the grains, what, about, I'd say about 6-7 millimeters, somewhere around there. But then, so about that sort of size, and I expect it to grow to about that sort of size, so double in size at least. Alright, so let me just wash and rinse the rice, and I'll leave it to soak for about half an hour, and I'll come back to you. So welcome back. So as you can see, I've left the rice soaking. It's nicely soaked now. I left it for about, I think it's about 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, somewhere around there. I wasn't taking notes, but there we are. You just have to take my word for it. I'm just going to put the rice is on this electric stove thing. So, whoops. Let's just put that on. Get that heating up. So this is cold water. At the moment, it's just water and rice, and the amount of water in there is about that much above, bit of rice, about that much above the level of the rice. I make it slightly differently to the way other people do. You see videos of it on, put that much water in and then cover it and leave it and all that stuff. I don't do it that way. I used to do it that way when I first started learning, but I found that this is this particular method is a lot simpler. Some people use rice cookers, some people use all different other ways of cooking rice. This is basmati rice. That's the way I cook it. Now, I'm not going to keep talking for whilst you've got nothing to look at, because this is electric. It's going to take time for that water to heat up and start bubbling. I'll come back to you at that time. Okay, so the rice has been on the heat now for a few minutes, about 5 minutes or so. On gas it'll be much faster, but this is electric, so it just takes a long time for it to get to this stage where it's just about to start boiling. You can see a few bubbles coming up there, here and there. So this is the time at which I add a bit of salt. Now, how much salt do I add? So I tend to add roughly about that much. It seems a lot, but actually it's not. It seems a lot. It's about a heaped tablespoonful for that much rice. Give that a quick, that's all, and then leave it alone. Okay, just blow a bit of steam away from the camera lens. Doesn't do it any good. The reason for adding the salt is that obviously for flavour, but it also helps to make the grains separate out more. Similar to the way you cook pasta. Rice is one of the oldest forms of grains known to man, going back thousands and thousands of years. So, you know, humans have been eating rice for, well, ever since I suppose they learned to make fire. Anyway, so maybe even before. At this stage it's now boiling nicely, so you want to have a kettle of hot water ready, or a pan of hot water ready to add to this. As I said, this is the method that I use, and it works for me, and I suggest that you have a go at it. So you can see the rice is already starting to fluff up and get a bit bigger. We're still quite some way off, probably about 5-10 minutes, no more, off from cooking this. So let it boil for a couple more minutes, then I'll add some more water to it for the final boil, and I'll catch you in a little while. I'll catch you when I add the water. In fact, let me just add the water now, get on with it. Right, so I've got my kettle full of hot water. I'm just going to add it. It's hot water, not cold water at this stage, because the rice is already boiling. So, put that away. Back again. Right. I've just added the rice. You can see there's rice as it starts to boil, it like pops to the surface and so on, and the grains will start expanding now because they've got enough water in there to start expanding. If you don't have enough water, then you know they're kind of fighting against each other to get a bit of water to expand. Well, that's what I think anyway. I don't know, I've never heard rice talk to each other before. After that, when I think it's about right, I'll show you when. I'll take it off the heat, use an implement such as one of these strainer things to drain the water, give it a quick rinse, and then we'll just flavour it up with whatever. Catch you in a bit. Alright, we're back sooner than I thought. The rice, if I look at it now, is almost there. It's still a bit too al dente for me anyway. But you can see that it's doubled in size completely. There's a few grains which are still fighting for it, but more or less doubled in size. At this stage, I would reckon certainly no more than 5 minutes. Probably, I say 2 minutes or so, and that'll be cooked. Then all we have to do is strain the water out, and then just give it a little bit of a rinse to get rid of as much starch as possible to make it a slightly healthier rice, and then put it back in the pan, off heat, and add some either butter, some ghee, some olive oil, whatever kind of flavouring you want really on there. Cover it, and that's it, leave it. Okay, you don't stir rice as you would making a soup or something like that. You know, the rice you just leave alone. You don't want to mash it up after you've taken all the time to make it nice and separate like this. It's beautiful. Look at that rice now. I reckon at this stage we're looking at about a minute, no more. Yeah, I'd say about a minute, and then that's cooked. Okay, so let me get some gloves. Right, I got my trusty gloves with me. Give it a few more minutes. Let me know where you're looking at this video from in the comment section. Just put a comment down. Subscribe if you like. There are other videos on there. I'll be putting more and more up, including flavoured rice, different types of rice, rice with soya, this, that, other. And just, yeah, share, like, and join the channel. If you let me know where you're from, and if you let me know who you are, then I can send you some feedback myself. Right, I'm just going to take it off heat now. So I've switched the electric off. With the electric, it doesn't go off instantly, so this will bubble away for a few minutes. So I do not want that. So let me take that off. I'm just going to rinse the rice using this. It's standard, it's very simple. So I'm not going to show you, I don't think. Let me see, no, I don't need to show. So you want every last drop of water out of there, and then just give it a quick rinse under the tap. Can't quite catch the camera on that one, but anyway, just let it drain out. You can probably hear a few dripping. But anyway, just let it drain out of there, and I'll throw it back in the pan. Right, so rice has gone back in the pan again. Give it a quick, just to loosen up the grains a bit. Throw that in there. Now I'm just going to add a bit of, let's try and move this here, if that helps. Right, let me just add some olive oil to it. Lovely. Nice bit of olive oil in there. Give it a quick, it's not really a stir, it's just one of those things. Something like that. And you can see that the grains are nice and separate and good. Lovely rice. Now cover that up. Where is it? Where's my cover gone? Right. Right, covered it up. It's going to steam in there for a few minutes, and I'll just leave it in there until we're ready to eat it. To eat it, you can eat it with a bit of yogurt, dals, curries, whatever you want really. Rice is so versatile. But anyway, enjoy.